Pow! And welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W, and happy Turtle Tuesday to you all. We are back in 2024 with some more Turtle and Tea. So hopefully you have put the kettle on, you've made yourself a nice brew, and remember to brew it as well. That's an important thing about tea making. None of that like stir once and off you go. Like, let it brew for a minute, let it settle. Enjoy it, and let's talk some Turtle news, because not only do we have some pickups to recap, we've got some Turtle news to talk about, as it is Turtle Tuesday. Some news dropped today. It's also the first Turtles and Tea of the year. So let's just have a general sort of speculate about the year ahead. What do we want to see? What do we think we're going to see? And we'll talk about all the companies as well, because let's be honest, that sort of Turtle license gets all over the place, doesn't it? So we've got Neca, SUPER7, Playmates, Loyal Subjects, plus everything else that they're making. So lots of Turtle stuff to talk about. So get comfortable, join the conversation in the chat, but you know I cannot do it on my own. So he's back for another year. It's the co-host. It is, of course, Super Turk 5000, nevertheless. Tanner, how you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. I became an uncle yesterday for my brother and his missus.
Congratulations.
I had their baby yesterday, so in a very good mood, having a good week, good start to the week. So
yeah.
looking forward to this as well.
I'm also an uncle. Amanda doesn't want kids, so I think that uncle is the closest I'm going to get to having children. So I also enjoy being an uncle. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass when I'm what they refer to as the fun uncle, because they just throw the kids at me and like, right, you entertain them, and then I'm just stuck with the kids at every family gathering. But it's always fun. So let's talk some turtle stuff then. So we did a show in December and we did your top 10. Again, I never really can contribute to these things because I've still got piles of toys on the floor I'm yet to open. But it's the start of the year, so it's sort of a fair game as we can both speculate of what we would like to add to our collections in 2024. But of course, we're toy collectors. Lots of stuff has arrived since our last stream. So, of course, we're going to get into our most wanted turtle toys this year. But let's just start off nice and casual. Let's talk about some pickups, all right? So, do you have anything to start us off with, Tanner?
So, I haven't got anything to hand, but I will go over a list of what has come in, which I have shown on a couple of other streams beforehand. Yeah. The main one I want to discuss is Mecha Mikey from the Heat Boys line. He did show him off. He's amazing, goes well with that Leo. Completely different from the Leo, as he has got his own little person. They've all got their own little personalities. Mikey's with the bazookas, the guns, the head shades, the headphones, even. And Leo is like a samurai. He's got the weapons, looking amazing. Just there as you pulled it up, so he is amazing. Goes with that Leo. Another thing that arrived. I haven't had much turtle stuff come up recently. I've had two things. So it's this and the thing that mysteriously arrived at both our houses in the past couple of weeks.
Save your breath for that. Save your breath for that. Let's go and say hello to the chat because I do have a few big... When I say the word big, I mean the biggest turtle items to my collection have arrived in the last month. So since in between the last Turtles and Tea and now, genuinely the biggest items in my turtle collections have arrived, and multiple of them as well. So we will discuss all. But let me first just do the housekeeping real quick. Go and check out all the other long form content on the channel. Of course, Turtles and Tea is back today, and hopefully we can do it a lot more regularly in 2024. Obviously, we're both busy people, but there's always turtle news to talk about. So if there's something lively and we're available, I think we'll jump on, even if we do mini episodes, Tanner, just to try and get ahead of the news. That'd be fun. So yeah, go and check out all the long form content. On Thursday, I'll be doing a sort of Joe's and Juice cross-pollination with the regular Thursday show. But go and check them all out. Playlists, podcasts on the channel. You can also, of course, hit that join button, become a channel member, and you can be a part of those shows. Or if you want to just support the channel, you can contribute anything over £4 or $4. Friday, our talking robot assistant is hopefully, fingers crossed, working on a Tuesday. We will find out later in the show if someone's feeling generous. But anything over £4 or $4, she will read it out loud, be a part of today's conversation, forever live on the stream. History here on YouTube. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now let's jump to the chat. And I have got a poll up and running. If I get the chat up for here. There it is. The poll quite simply says, what company are you most looking forward to seeing in 2024? Now, of course, that's in regards to turtle-related products, of course. So we've went with Neca, SUPER7 and Playmates, as I think arguably they'd be the biggest three turtle license holders, and then other could be loyal subjects. It could be the Heat Boys, like Tanner was talking about. There are many.
It could be the Mezcos, which are coming as well.
Exactly, they're due to ship and due to be charged soon. So that's what other means. So far, 65%. It was 66. 65% Neca, 19% SUPER7, 0% for Playmates. Sad Tom, the originators, you know, the OGs of the turtle license, can't even get a vote on a Turtles and Tea. Well, maybe there's a piece of news today that will make you a little bit more excited for some Playmate stuff, because they are revealing new things, not just reissues. They are revealing new things. So we will talk about those Playmate reveals that came out this week. And then the 16% say other, which is all those other categories we talked about. So please get involved with that poll. We'll check on in it throughout the show. But who is in here live right now on a Tuesday afternoon, a Turtle Tuesday, nevertheless? We got Mark Tac, Eddie Rodriguez, Adam Batman Moran, Mike Hex, Cloud, Jay's Toy Collection UK, who just did his own little breaking news turtle video talking about Donny's lab, which has now got a pre-order date, which of course me and Tanner are about to talk about, so hold your horses. But Jay already has a video up. Jason Lopez, the retweeting king, is in the building as well. Same as Damien. Me and Damien just did a great little swap and trade I'll talk about on our latest stream. Who else have we got? Dog War Jones. My Professor Perry pack arrived today. Yeah, we got our shipping notices, right, Tana? So,
Yeah, yeah.
could be due
Although
at...
no movement,
Oh,
no
okay.
movement on mine from the tracking. So I
I've not
think this will
checked.
be one of those ones where they haven't picked them up yet. And as
Okay.
soon as it moves, it will come in a few days.
At least we got a tracking number. That's always a good thing.
Hmm.
Jamie as well. Jamie's in the building. Said the only emoji we need with the turtle Donatello emoji. Now Donatello is my favourite emoji. I've stopped using the word best because I like them all. I don't dislike any of the turtles. I genuinely like them all, and will never challenge anybody on their preference for their favourite turtle. But my favourite is Donatello, and that's how we will do it. Kevin's in the building as well. Christopher Allen with the Donatello emoji. Northern Nomad. Jellyfigs. Sondiko, am I saying that right? He says my big pickup was the original cover art for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle issue 108, covered by Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman's a legend. I'd love to have something in my collection like that was like original art, or a signed piece from him. That'd be great. Kurt K's also in the building. He says fitness and figures today, or figures and fitness. So I suppose he's listening to us in the gym of some sort. But I appreciate everybody.
Either that, or he's expecting us to do a couple of push-ups on
That
stream.
is not happening. That is not happening. I play football, but I'm not a gym goer. Right, so let's do some of my pickups then, shall we? So I'll start off easy. I'll start off with stuff that I've actually got in hand in person. So no particular order, but Tanner did sort of tempt me at the end of last year. If you remember the last Legends and the last Turtles and Tea, and all the Legends and Liquors he's been on, he's been showing off his Mirage collection, and like it is the 40th anniversary of Turtles this year. So I thought it's only right I get the sort of original comic sort of inspiration in figure form, and Neca did such a good job. I did go back and get the Mirage Turtle 4-pack, and I have no regrets at all. There you go, they look glorious. 4 Raphaels in a box, so cool. And I couldn't just get the turtles, I went and got Master Splinter as well. But that's where the problem begins, Tanner, because it's like, okay, now they need a bad guy, and then Fred is gonna need some foot soldiers, and then they need Casey Jones. So I haven't went too deep yet. I've stayed strong with just these.
You're teetering on the edge, though. You're teetering on that edge. I can see you looking over that edge down here in the hole. Yeah,
I need to make a shelf. Once I've got a dedicated display space for these, I think then I will get excited. So they have arrived. Something SUPER7 arrived. Now, we don't usually pay full price for SUPER7 here, because things just go to discount pretty quickly. It's how we've managed. Well, I say that when poor Tanner's had to pay full price for everything. But I sympathised with him because I couldn't wait any longer, and I pulled the trigger full price on Slam Dunkin' Don, because it's Donny. I had to. I told you it's my favourite. And this is such a cool variant turtle. Now, this technically means we have 4 variant turtles now, with the Samurai Leo, Surfer Mike, Space Cadet Raph, and now Slam Dunkin' Donny. We were technically meant to get Punk Donny first, but that wave got flip reversed. So we should have 2 variants of Donny before anyone else, which I'm very happy about.
I'm going to correct you on that one. Technically, we already have 2 variants of Raph.
Do you know what?
Because we have that special in disguise version of Raph that technically was Donny, right?
It is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. It was a Undercover Raph, where it annoyed me because Undercover Donny is one of my favourite Playmates toys as a kid. So that made me think they were going to do all the turtles undercover. Do you know, like just slowly release them, but they never have they? Just that Big Bad Toy Store exclusive.
They've just done their big bad Raph. I think I'm surprised they haven't done all 4 in the disguise, based on how popular the Neca in disguise turtles were. Yeah. Those sets were like gold dust when they were first announced, and no one could find anything. So we ended up getting. I know you got a couple of sets a lot earlier than I did. I can't remember how I got mine, but probably Uncle Ali. But I pre-ordered mine.
Got a set. It was one of the longest pre-orders I ever had. I pre-ordered the Turtles in Disguise sets on the Neca site, and it took like 2 years for them to come. But I did get one.
Then I did that as well.
I got one from Laser Pants. Laser Pants did send me one, thankfully, but it was when Donny was missing a foot and we had Footgate going on. So I had a limping Donatello for a long time. But it's all sorted now. All is well. This Donatello, I can confirm, has 2 feet. It's always the first thing I check these days. But Slam Dunkin' Don, I don't usually review the Ultimate stuff because, to be fair, Toy Bro gets there way before me because he's in cahoots with SUPER7. But I might review this one because Dan Who Reviews needs to review something in 2024. That is for sure. But so yeah, I've got them in hand to show off, but I have had some other pickups that I want to show off. I'll show off
some of your show offs. I'm going to have to jump in on as well because
yes.
I've initially forgot them, and I know the picture that is coming up, and I know I've got a couple of them. So yeah,
it's all part of the plan, my friend. Right, so it is, of course. So again, just after Christmas, that massive. When I say massive, I genuinely mean this thing is massive. The SUPER7 Turtle Van has arrived. Probably the biggest item in my collection currently. But not only that, I've now got the Turtle Van from Neca and from Playmates. So again, those 3 companies that are currently fighting for your votes in the chat, I support them all. I love them all. They all have their own place in the collection for me. Obviously, Playmates is the OG, the vintage, if you will. Again, it's like 40, well, yeah, about 40 years old, I guess. And then you've got the Neca, which is all the Toon accurate stuff. And then obviously SUPER7 is the modern day collector remake tribute of that Playmate stuff. So for me, I justify them in my collection absolutely. Where am I going to fit all these in a display? I don't know. But I did rearrange a whole shelf setup just so I could actually display the Turtle Van in my room. So this is for every time I stream now. This van is in front of me. I need to like get some turtles in there and whatnot, but the room's still slowly building. But yeah, this turtle van is now in front of me. Prime real estate in the main display room. I fucking love that thing. I haven't even took the tab out yet for the battery for the light, so I've not even seen the lights on it yet. But that is it. I've also built some more shelves for some other stuff. So let me see if I can find my picture real quick. Okay, so there's my picture. Let me tell the story, Tanner. Let me break it down, all right? It was my birthday. Go for it. I wanted to treat myself on my birthday. There they are, in all their glory. I wanted to treat myself on my birthday, so I brought Big Don. I just wanted to see what that scale was like. I was like, oh, Donny's my favourite. If I'm only going to get one of these, I'll get Don. So I got Big Don. He arrived on my birthday. And I knew as soon as I opened him, I was like, oh, shit. I'm going to need them all now. I'm going to need them all. But Raphael was the first one to be released like over like nearly 2 years ago. So Mikey was the latest one to be released. So like it was like I can get Mikey, Leo's still available, but Raph will be the hard one to get. And then massive shout out to the whole shebang over here in the UK. I sort of told them I would be interested in getting the others, but only if I could get all of them in one go. I didn't want to wait around. I was like, right, it's either get them all or nothing type thing. So they were like, yeah, we can help you out. That we can get you a Raph. And I was like, go for it, make it happen. And yeah, the whole shebang. They managed to track me down a brand new Raph, Mikey and Leo, and I managed to complete the set very quickly. So rather than me waiting months and months in between each one of these releases, I managed to experience just getting them all very quickly. And I've rearranged this room so you guys don't see it. From your perspective, you see big Marvel Legends display, all right? This is my usual theme, Marvel everywhere. But this side of the room, the wall that I'm facing now where my camera is, that's where my turtle, I'm going to try and build out a little turtle display. So again, it's not there yet. It's nowhere near yet. But I've built a shelf that fits the van. And I'm going to put Toon Turtle stuff here. And then up top, you can see them. They're out on display. Now, the middle bit at the minute is occupied by Batman. He has done a crossover with Turtles, so they get on well. However, that will be replaced by all the movie Turtle stuff, I think. And then the Toon Turtles will flank them. But as you can see, I'll get one down. I'll get Big Don down, just as a favourite of mine.
Dan, I'm going to play devil's advocate here with regards to that. So you got the quarter scale cartoon turtles.
Yeah, look at him. Oh, he's glorious.
Now, he looks brilliant. Will you also, I know these, if they ever get redone, these were quite old figures, the movie turtle quarter scales, which also look great. Would if they ever get released, would you ever think about tracking them down at all,
I don't
or
know.
like
I
if you're on that quarter scale?
well,
And I think if you have the cartoon turtles, the movie turtles right next to each
don't
other,
get me. You're not wrong, right? And this like I used to be such a scale snob and be like, right, I'm only getting 6 inch. Like I wanted all my collections to merge into one universe if I so choose. Do you know, like that's why I like that sort of sweet spot, that sort of 6 inch to 7 inch scale, because you can fudge it on display where it's like these worlds are colliding. So I always avoided the bigger scale stuff. It was also an excuse for me not to buy hot toys like our friend Jay.
yeah.
But now getting this in hand, it's definitely made me just go, do you know what? Why am I being such a scale snob? Get what is the best representation of the thing I want in plastic. Do you know, like we buy these as physical representations of the things that we love and bring us joy. So like, why am I sacrificing something this good for something that big? Like, why can't I just have both if I so choose? So again, I've went in other directions as well. I've went and got like the 3-0 Power Rangers, and I regret not getting the whole Rangers for them now as well. And I keep promising our friend compulsive collector John that I will get a hot toy this year. So maybe
Hang on a second. You said the Magic brand 3-0.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say I've got some quarter scale as well. So you're not the only one on the quarter scale, but you're trying to get me to get on those ones.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and get you on my quarter scale ones. Let me pull out the quarter scale I have. For anyone who's seen previously, these are quite possibly what I will call the monstrosity turtles, because I'm not that big fan of the movie, but like yourself, I want the perfect version of each iteration of the turtles, and you can't have an iteration of the turtles without the Michael Bay turtles. So I've got all four from here. We got Raph, pulled out Raph. You got Leo, Donny there. I got Raph out here. They are great. I've got Leo, all four brothers, Bebop and Rocksteady as well. So
have you opened them to like check them out?
I have opened them. I've taken. I've opened them. I've put pictures up on my Instagram of them as well. So they are really, really good figures. And that quarter scale is really, really nice, because I mean the only other figures we have of that is the
crappy
Playmates ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Playmates ones aren't that good. They aren't that accurate to the actual movie. So, but these ones, they look exactly like the movie, and it's a case of if you're going to get the best version of the of each brand, then you may as well go for that extra added length.
Go for the most. Yeah, you cannot deny it. The bigger scale you get, the more detail you can go. Mike Hex jumped in with a super chat. Thank you very much, Mike. He says, "Where are your UA vans, traitors?" Does he mean what's it? Something Arsenal, right?
The Underground Arsenal van.
Arsenal.
The Underground Arsenal.
That's
the third party.
I have no loyalty to Underground Arsenal, so I wouldn't say I'm a traitor as such, because I was never on their team. Not that I'm against them either. I think what they did was a great alternative for collectors, but I'm such a snob. For me, I just need the officially licensed stuff. For me, just speaking for myself, just speaking solely for myself, like for a brand like Turtles that I love, I think history will remember the officially licensed stuff, and the off brands, the knockoffs, whatever you want to call it, will just be a little bit obscure. Do you know, like, so for me, it's like, it's got to be officially licensed, where SUPER7 was officially licensed, Neca was officially licensed, Playmates officially licensed, Turtle Vans. Underground Arsenal, great as it is as an alternative, it's not officially licensed. So again, just speaking for myself, not for me. Yeah. So.
I mean, I've been on the fence, off the fence about trying to track down an Underground Arsenal van, and I really can't be bothered to now, because there's none in the UK, there's none on Uncle Ali. So I figured, yeah, like yourself, officially licensed. Even those Heat Boy Mech Turtles are officially licensed.
Yep.
I will have to say, the only non-turtle figure I do have that's not officially licensed is that non-Leo Autumn figure from Fury Toys.
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
Which it's a little small figure, and he does look good. You've got Donny and Splinter coming as well soon.
But that's a different look for the like. For example, if we weren't going to get a turtle van from NECA and SUPER7, I would have went with Underground Arsenal because that would have been our only option. Because that would have been the representation of the turtle van in your collection, like it is for many people. But knowing that we were getting the other vans, it was easier to just let it go on by. Where what you're talking about of the Fury toys, that's quite a unique
that's a
incarnation, exactly, that no one else is doing.
Of it, yeah.
So you have to go in that direction. So that type of stuff is fair game. It's not that I'm against stuff like that. And I think the term I used the term knockoff, but that was unfair because they're not knockoffs. They're great products.
Third party.
Third parties is a better word. Third parties is a better word. But yeah, so I got the big turtles. What else have I got? Okay, you can join me on this one. Another big item. Here's Teddy being my glamorous assistant. Oh, let me get the big turtles out of the way. All right, move out the way, big turtles. There he is.
Bring them out of the way.
Look, Ted was like, why have you put me on the table? I was like, to show scale, Ted, of this giant turtle layer. So, Tanner, how did you send this me? Because I wasn't supporting Neca's corporate
You know
greed.
what? You know what? I was so adamant against this bleeding turtle layer. I even went on Jay's stream for at least 2.5 hours saying how it's not worth the money, how it's not worth it, how I'm not going to buy it.
I agree.
But it turns out, I mean, a few weeks ago, I got a random message from you.
Yep.
Saying a box had turned up to yours.
It was a big box as well. It was a big box.
You didn't get any prior tracking. I didn't get any prior tracking as well. Just randomly turned up, right?
Can confirm 0 tracking or shipping. It just turned up.
Yeah, it just. In fact, I got my tracking for it 2 weeks after I'd received the bloody thing. But yeah, I literally got home from work and I see this huge box sitting in my front hallway. As Dan is so graciously showing.
Trying to show it graciously, but it's so big.
It's so big. That's what she said. I like the little handle at the top. You can carry it with the little handle at the top. It's really, really cool.
Let me just go full screen.
Yes.
That's the
we both are owners of this turtle layer. Where it came from, how it was paid for, you don't need to worry about that. All I need to say is that we are both now owners of the sewer layer.
Can I just say, I completely agree. It was too expensive. Completely agree. I'm not challenging anybody on that. The price, it was too high. It was too high. And people standing strong, like Jay. I'm not.
We salute you.
Yeah, we do.
We salute you. We salute you. We salute Mad Hatter. We salute Nostalgia Unbox. Salute all you guys for staying strong.
Yeah,
me and Dan are extremely weak.
Look,
extremely big hypocrites.
I just went on that sort of tangent of wanting something officially licensed, right? The Toon. I had the turtle layer, the Playmates turtle layer as a kid, and it had all the gimmicks with the swinging fire. It was like the swinging telephone pole and the pipe pin, and it had the telescope that went up and the fire hydrant, all these little gimmicks and stuff, which was so fun as a kid. I remember that was one of my favourite toys as a kid in regards to the turtle stuff. But again, it bugged me that some of those gimmicks were not on the show. I was like, why ain't they got a fire hydrant telescope? Do you know, just the silly stuff. For me, even as a kid, I wanted Toon accurate stuff. So now, as an adult, I had the opportunity to buy a Toon accurate, officially licensed living room. And I'm a grown man with my own money. And I could get it. Yeah, I was getting it. Do you know what I mean? I'm only ever speaking for myself here. But I wouldn't say I was happy about the price by any means, but I wanted it, so I weren't going to let it go by. And now it's going for even more. And now it's going for even more on the aftermarket, and it's selling. So there's other people out there that tried to stay strong, but now are backtracking and regretting not getting it. So again,
it's the giant man all over again. Everybody was going, "Don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it." Me and you, technically, we convinced each other to pick it up because it's like whenever you watch an episode of The Tales, the one room that always comes up is the living room. They're always sitting in the living room. Yep. When more often than not, 90% of the episodes they're in the living room for at least one scene. They go to Donny's lab. Yeah, they're in the kitchen sometimes. But more often than not, you will see that living room. And for a mind's eye display, if you want to create an awesome display, you need you need the version of the living room. Now, yes, what Musk is doing is brilliant and it looks good, but it isn't your mind's eye version of the living room.
For the record, there's no comparison. The Musk is its own entity. The Musk looks like an epic 1/12 scale sewer diorama. It doesn't even need to be associated with turtles. It can be anything you want it to be. It's modular. The Musk looks epic. I'm thinking about getting the Musk to fit in somewhere else in my display, like whether it be movie turtles or
I think it will go well with the Mirage turtles. Yeah, like, to be totally honest with you, it looked great.
The Musk is a great option, and again, that's something I'm definitely got. It's not even up for pre-order yet, so I don't even know what the details are of that. But that looks epic. But this is its own thing. As Tanner said, it's iconic. For me, it's about recreating visually a scene from the cartoon in plastic, in physical form for my collection. Now, that is much bigger than I thought, and it isn't going to fit in the space I wanted it to, but it will fit under the city diorama, which I do have a Toon City diorama, so I need to find a way
I may have two,
and he may have two, the lucky bastard. So he's gonna have a perfect place for Donny's lab straight away, where I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to start stacking these, get rid of my Billy bookcases, and just have a total layered stack. But no regrets. I can see Strident in the chat saying Dan already has buyer's remorse. Absolutely not. No regrets. But right, please.
Although I can see in the chat that Cheeky Monkey Piaro is saying, why are you praising Jay for being strong when he's got shitloads of hot toys just sitting there staring at her?
She's not wrong, is she?
Unfortunately, I don't have any control over Jay buying the hot toys. That was his mutual decision.
In the same week, Jay's showing off hot toys, Kiara's showing off broccoli. Do you know, like, so there's definitely, thank God that they both don't have a crazy addiction to plastic. But yeah.
That would be a very dangerous thing for both of them to have it,
Okay, one last pickup for me, and then we can get into some turtle stuff. My last pickup is, it's retro cards. So you know I'm a sucker for retro cards. By all means, like, shout out Damien in the chat. Not turtle related, but I've been picking up some of the Toy Biz Superman. What am I talking about? Spider-Man stuff. And they're epic. They're epic, right? So I'm a sucker for retro cards. So of course, Playmates, all they've been doing recently is re-releasing their. Hang on, I'm trying to put these back without ruining the cards. All they've been doing is re-releasing their old Playmate stuff. Now, to be fair, if you try and buy an original one of these turtles from 1987 or whatever it is, you're looking at hundreds of pounds. I don't have hundreds of pounds, but these things are super nostalgic for me. So these re-releases come out, they're like £20 a pop, less than that in America. Shout out Mike Hex, who's been helping me track down most of these. But I've went ahead and got every single individual like character card. So they have re-released more characters than this, but they are on like sort of generic packaging, where each one of these has their own unique collector card where the character is on the packaging. Like you've got Reebok on the Bebop packaging, Rocksteady on the Rocksteady packaging. It's the same with all of these. So this is every one released so far. There is a picture of Rat King on the back of one of these boxes, but Rat King is nowhere to be found yet. So hopefully Rat King's coming. But April was one of the last ones to track down. Shout out Mike Hex, who managed to get me two, so I can open one and display one. But yes, I now have all of the NECA classics. I think they're referring to them as classics re-releases of the individual cards. I've been buying extras of some of them so I can open up to display, but I do have some of the original Playmates toys already on my display anyway. So upstairs I've got my Toon diorama right now has just got Playmates toys on it, but that's upstairs. It's not really the showy off display. It's sort of my own little base, I guess, storage. But yeah, all of these, and I will continue to buy them as well, only if they are the individual character cards. Okay, so keep a lookout for me, people. If you find any new ones that are not on this picture, then please hit me up. Mike Hex, I'm talking to you. I know you're in Target every other day. You can have a little look for me, but I do think Rat King is the next one on my radar. But yeah, if I had a hexagon house, I'd be displaying these on my wall just like I do with my Spider-Man. But I unfortunately do not have a hexagon house. The blueprints foul through.
You also don't have a mansion with huge walls.
I can touch both walls of this room. This room is tiny. If only if Amanda would give up a massive room, but she's never going to do that. Never going to do that. So this tiny room is all I've got. But I do have too many toys. That is a problem. But it's a great problem to have. Right. Let me close some tabs. Let's get into some actual toy news then. So talking about the layer, let's not mess around and jump straight into it. As it is Turtle Tuesday, Neca have now officially gave us some details regarding Donny's Lab, as it will go up for pre-order next Turtle Tuesday. So that is going to be the 5th of March. Now, to be fair, if you go back and sort of do your sort of research, Neca usually do a lot of pre-orders around about March. Like last March or the March before, it was like every other week.
They did March and April. They did like a 2-week thing, and then you got the whole Haulathon thing.
Oh, let's not mention that.
Well,
that word's banned on
it's coming. We both know it's coming, even though it's not officially announced. We know it's coming, and they've got enough in the bag to be able to flood the market. But the thing is with that, they generally tend to flood the market right at the start of Q1, and then the rest of the year is pretty quiet, except for like the odd thing here or there.
Let me move Turtles and T logo up just so you can see that it says Neca Store exclusive. So just like the Turtle layer, the only way you're going to be able to buy it is on the Neca Store. Originally, it said like a US exclusive, didn't it? And it pissed me the fuck off. I was like, really? Really? They're going to do that to international? But thankfully, they seem to have changed that. So I do hope it is available to international customers. But yeah, Donny's Lab, as promised, is coming out. Now, they did tease 3 of these things. It was the layer, it was Donny's Lab, and it was the kitchen. Now, the kitchen's like a smaller, sort of more boxy, rather than this long rectangle. So maybe, I'm assuming all 3 are going to come out. I feel pretty confident that's going to happen now. But Donny's Lab,
I know they said it came down to sales on the first one. This one came down to sales on the layer, but the fact that they're doing this, they must have had enough suckers buy them.
Who were those idiots that brought the layers? What idiots? Who brought the layer that made this happen? But anyway, people did. And now this is happening. So Donny's Lab, we don't really know much what's in it. I'm assuming his coffee making machine will be there. We already have his portal, which is a separate accessory, which I think his portal was maybe made with something like this in mind, but then they re-released it separately. So is there anything you would like to see in the lab?
Well, the main thing is because the coffee maker from the thing, because it's in every single episode right at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, if we see like a workbench, other like mechanic-y, scientific-y stuff for him to do, maybe a couple of the gadgets he's built over the course of the season, over the course of the show, because he builds stuff out of nothing pretty much.
I do like those Easter eggs as well. Like, I like to find out, what is that from? And then I go back and find the episode. I like doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. A spot for the portal is definitely a must. You can't not have that there. I'm wondering if they will do a release of the portal for this to go along with it, to maybe get that extra oomph in that sales.
Yeah.
So I can see that happening. I can also, I'm not quite sure what else they can release side by side with this. Now, the thing is, I'm wondering as well, the question is, because they were trying this with the first one.
Okay.
Would you get a second one just to do as like a garage, an extension for the turtle van?
Look, as much as we've just bashed on the price, if the price was cheaper, then yes, absolutely. But like, the price of one is like stretching my limit of like, don't get me wrong, I do agree it's too expensive, but I just didn't want to miss out on an officially licensed turtle layer. It was one of my dream items. I didn't want to miss out on it just because you people on YouTube were telling me not to. Like, no, like I've always been that guy that doesn't follow the crowd. Do you know, like, no, like I'm going to do it because I want to. So, but yeah, the price is just too much to buy 2.
Yeah.
So I'll get Donny's Lab because Donny's my guy. So of course I need his lab. But I don't know. I do like the idea of an even number of the same scaled. Well, not an even number, but I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I would like.
So basically, you want an even number of basically.
Do you know what I want? What I really, really want is not a Zigga Ziggar as much as the Spice Girls claim.
Where's Rich? Sorry, I didn't realise this was Thursday.
No, what I really, really want is like to expand upon the street diorama, right? Because for this, you can have like for yourself, you've got 2 street dioramas, right?
Yeah.
So if this comes out and it's the same as we can all assume it's the same as the turtle layer, but it's just got different accessories. Let's be honest, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Then they're both the same size, so you can nicely fit both of these under your 2
under the diorama.
Exactly, and it's perfectly symmetrical. Looks great for display. For the van, I'd rather the van be on the road, right? So I would rather they sort of create something like to go on top of these to expand the street diorama from the top. Do you know, like we were highlighting the Musk, like the Musk is going to have from Ramen Toys, it's going to have the street section of the street,
and it's going to have the street.
Exactly. Neca are missing a trick here by only giving us a flat piece of cardboard. Like they could be really giving
foam.
Us
it's foam board, isn't it? Yeah,
it's crap. Whatever it is, it's crap. Like for the price we're paying, we could really and should really be having an extension of the road or the city or something. And I'd like to have the van on the city, like driving or something. I don't know. Like I'm sure they could build something modular to attach to the street scene. So option to buy a second one for a turtle van. I'm sure people already have done that. I know they have because I've seen pictures and it does look great. But I'd rather have the turtle van in a display in action on the street. So, April driving it, Mikey in the seat.
Now, I've had a bit of a thought just as you were saying that, and I'm wondering your opinion on this and chat's opinion on this. So let's say if we have like a third room, for the van, and you have a little section which elevates from the sewer bit to the top. And then you can basically have it rising from the sewers out of it. And then you can have it either on the street layer or on the lower layer. I know that's going to be a very
Japanese car park,
thing. Yeah. And it's going to be the price if they do something like that will be freaking
remote control with lights and everything. $3,000. Yeah, cheaper to buy a real garage.
It's a case of, can you imagine if they were like, yeah, we're doing this, and if you crank this shaft or press this button, the level will actually rise from the bottom to the top.
It's a nice idea for sure, but I genuinely think what would be more accessible for them to do is do the same type of setup as the turtle layer, but make one of the panels a bigger hole. Do you know, so it actually fits the van to drive through? Because the turtle van would always drive out of the sewer, wouldn't it, rather than be elevated above. So they could give us a modular piece for the side panels, so you actually had the right sewer hole for the van to drive out of, maybe a little ramp. I don't know. But they have options. But you know they're not going to give us anything great. They're going to give us the bare fucking minimum. The turtle layer basically is going to be the turtle layer, but with Donny's accessories instead of the living room accessories. That's what it's going to be. We're not idiots. We know what they're selling us, and we're the suckers that will still buy it. But for someone with 2 street dioramas, it's going to look epic on display for sure. I do regret not getting 2 street dioramas because of this now. Now I'm going to have to stack them on top of each other. Now I'm going to have Donny's layer, and then the sewer, or maybe Donny's lab on top of the living room and then the street diorama or something like that. I don't know, but
or theoretically what you could do is if you have one of those normal style street dioramas, not the colors won't match up, and if you're a little bit OCD like that,
can't do it. You're not wrong, you could do that, and there's no rules, there's no reason you can't, but just for my own collecting habits I can't cross pollinate the lines. It has to be Toon for me, for my Toon display. But that's the magic about collecting, though, isn't it? There is no rules. With all these ideas we're talking about, you can do them all. You can do any of them. You can do none of them. It's up to you. It's your display. There's no wrong and right way to display your collection. You display it how you wish. So I'll figure it out when they all get here. But I will absolutely get this. So are we assuming the price is going to be that painful 300?
I think it's going to be the same. Yeah. I think it's going to be the same. If it's the same size, if it's the same thing, and if they got enough sales to warrant this being released, I don't see it being any cheaper than the last one. It is, even though the outrage of the first one was like, oh, it's too expensive. I wholeheartedly agree. It's definitely too expensive, and it should be a little bit cheaper. But them's the facts of life. I think it's a case of this will be the exact same price.
Yep, I agree. To be fair though, because it's the same tooling and stuff, do you know, like usually when figures are first made, they have to sort of up the price because the tooling is brand new for that product. Now we're getting into reuse territory, because let's be honest, this is basically reuse of tools that now exist in some sort of steel capacity in some sort of Chinese factory. Do you know what I mean? Like technically, they should be able to drop the price now. Like logistically, that is something they should be able to do, because now these tools exist, don't they? These tools exist for them to do it again. So technically, logistically, they should be able to offer it us at a slightly lower price. But will they do that? Like you said, probably not. Probably not, because these companies,
I mean,
they exist
they
to
love
make
money.
profit. They exist to make profit. It's as simple as that. It's bullshit. It's crap. But again, it is what it is, isn't it? It's the toy business, not the toy friendship. These companies wouldn't be able to operate if they just give away their shit. So it's just everyone buy what you're comfortable with. Don't feel peer pressured either way to buy it or not buy it. Buy what you want to buy with your own money. It's your money. Do what you want with it. Buy broccoli if you want to. That's what Cheeky Monkey Kara does. She's better than us all. She is the beacon of hope in this existence.
She's the shining light of the darkness that is the toy collecting world. She's the shining example.
She is indeed. Right, let me get this chat up again. Right, let me go back to the poll. So the poll still has Neca at 73%, SUPER7 at 11%. Playmates has got a vote now, thankfully. Someone did vote for Playmates with 3%, and then 13% said other. Now, the reason I come back to the chat and to that poll is because our next topic is about Playmates, which may convert a few non-believers, because you'd be right in thinking that Playmates only re-release stuff. They don't really remake anything new. They just re-release, but not anymore. They have offered us something new in the form of concept designed original sketch turtles. Now, you'll know Mondo did these in like a... It is Mondo, right?
Yeah, Mondo did the Michelangelo, and then Bottleneck Gallery did the Peter Laird version last year as well. Michelangelo.
But they're people that used to work for Mondo, so they are in theme and in scale with each other. Yeah.
Both have done the Michelangelo, and
both are crazy money on the aftermarket.
Both are holy grail for me. If I can get both, no matter which version, I don't care which version, one of each, that would be like the holy grail right there for me.
You just look on eBay. What would I search? Mondo Turtle, I guess. Mondo.
I think it's don't put it on the UK, just available to UK. Look worldwide, because the last time the Peter Laird one, the Mondo ones were going for what, 1,500.
It's all right. I'm just getting loads of
3,000.
I'm just getting loads of Mondo geckos. I'll look another time. But my point is, the picture on the screen is from Playmates, and in this very week's Toy Book magazine. Just think this would usually be around about Toy Fair, like February. Is usually Toy Fair, but the industry's all messed up at the minute. Toy Fair's been moved again till October. It's really weird. But February used to be a great month for toy collectors, because we used to get a heads up of what's coming throughout the rest of the year, where now it's all very industry driven. So there was this magazine that came out this week with a few tidbits of what's coming, and this was one of them for Playmates, and they are simply referring to them as the sketch. I think it's on the skip down here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classic Original Sketch action figures due in June. Now, to be fair, the distribution for Playmates toys in the UK is horrendous. So hopefully some of the import sites like the whole shebang can help us out if these are made available. Because I would like these, like, just as a little one-off little set. Apparently, they all come with their own section of the base, so you can stand them all on this base. This base is like a jigsaw, I suppose. So if you buy all 4 turtles, you build yourself a little base. But these are based on the original sketches when the turtles were just a figment of Peter and Lair's imagination. So are you in on this?
If I can find a way to track these down, I'm wholeheartedly in on these, because there's no way I'm going to be able to realistically afford the Mondo or the Bottleneck Gallery ones. So this will be a nice alternative to those, and you get all 4 of those as well. All 4 of the turtles in the original design, pose in the exact way they are on that original sketch as well. I think on that base they look amazing. So I would be all
in the
in
Playmate colours as well. Each of them are in their unique Playmates covered as well. So it is like a cross pollination of the original designs, but with the Playmate aesthetic. Because just think the Turtles have the different colour bandanas because of the cartoon, and because of the toys. So the kids would associate the difference. So you'll notice on the belts they don't have their initials because the original designs never did. They were all the same.
Didn't have it. Now I can see if these do sell well, I can see them doing a version with just the red bandanas, or even a black and white version.
Repaint City, yeah,
100%.
Playmates love that.
I mean, the red bandanas would fit right down a comic book collector's, a Mirage comic book collector's alley. This would fit down pretty much anyone's alley, and it's the original design. You don't have to have that much articulation. They can be statues for all I care, because the pose they're in is like their original sketch. That will be how I keep them. There's definitely when I do track them down.
Articulation there, obviously limited because they're big fat feet, but there does seem to be some articulation at the knees, elbows, swivel and hinge at the shoulders. Necks are probably on a ball joint, so limited, absolutely, but good enough to get in this iconic original sketch pose. So that's good enough for me.
And they also have the little turtle tails underneath them, which Cheeky Monkey Kiara likes to call them turtle penises.
Well, that's the reason they got removed for the cartoon, because they did look like turtle penises, and they were like, "Oh, we can't have 4 turtle penises dangling around on a kid's cartoon." So that is the reason they are gone. But they were always there in the comics. They're always there in the comics. So yeah, there you go. So these are coming out from Playmates in June, apparently. Original sketch Turtles. Very interesting and very cool to see Playmates doing something new as well, because again, not something they are known for currently. Usually, well, to be fair, they have been occupied with the Mutant Mayhem stuff, let's be honest. So they are doing a lot of new stuff, but it's Mutant Mayhem. When I say they're not doing anything new, I mean in regards to the original Toon designs, their original concepts, etc. So you know what I mean. But new original Playmate designs, pretty cool to see. So, okay. So that's a little bit of news to kick off the year. Just a little bit of news. I'm sure more's coming. March is always a heavy year for Neca. But let's go back to SUPER7 for a minute, all right? So I showed off Slam Dunking Donny. Now, we're on wave 8, I believe, or wave 9, I think was the last
So released, the most recent waves that are up for pre-order were 9 and 10. So I think released so far, we've had 6, maybe 7.
Wow, okay. So I'm just going to go to the SUPER7 site and actually just have a look here on their page. Yeah, so Turtles, there are basically 9 waves currently that have shipped and then or on their way or here, and then 1 wave is due, which is the Karai one. So yeah, you're right, 10 waves fully. So they've done 10 waves, 4 figures a pop, a few extras. How many figures are there now? Like 50 plus minimum, right?
Yeah, 100%. And we're not including the glow-in-the-dark shit only I seem to have bought anyway, so yes.
No, lots of people have bought it, obviously. They keep fucking doing it. But there's 50 plus figures minimum. So SUPER7 have done a lot of figures. And the magic about with SUPER7 is that they were ultimate versions of the Playmates toys. That's what their gimmick was. They are the original Playmate designs scaled up in ultimate fashion for the modern day collector. And it's a fun concept, and it's like the toys we thought we were playing with as kids with our little hands. We thought these toys were bigger. Now I was about to say bigger, but no, we're still little kids.
Well, we're still kids. We're just big kids now. Yeah. We're just big kids now, as opposed to
we're just kids with mortgages and bills and responsibility and depression much, and all that nonsense. Right? But toys to our saviour. So, what direction could SUPER7 go in to do some more? So let's start off our most wanted for 2024 with I've got a slight selection here of some of the original Playmates toys that I would like to see Super 7 give a go. And let's see if Tanner can agree with some of my suggestions. So some of these I had as a kid, some of these I never had and wanted, but never could track down. Some of them I didn't know existed until I was a little bit older, because, of course, Turtles carried on for so long. Even when I stopped playing with toys, Turtles was still being made. I'd moved on to X-Men and Spider-Man, but Turtles were still happening in the background. So, yeah, some of these Playmate suggestions I think would be a cool concept for Super 7 if they were to continue going down that line. But Super 7 are moving in weird directions at the minute. We know that the next wave of Ultimates are going to be the 2003 Turtles. So, like, I don't know how much of this Playmate stuff. We know there was a lot of nonsense with Rat King. The original concept for Rat King was heavily criticised, so they went back and changed it. And a lot of people are saying that's because they're having disputes with the license here, which is Playmates. And because Playmates are constantly doing their own thing at the minute, there's probably a lot of fighting about, oh no, you can't do that and you can't do this. So I don't even know what Super 7 can and can't do anymore. So this is just a little bit of fun of... If they could continue recreating those Playmate toys in ultimate fashion, this was a few fun concepts. And this is one I had as a kid, and I want to see happen. It is Panda Can. I had him as a kid. He was mates with Usagi in my collection. Now, of course, I'd like to see Super 7 do Usagi or Jimbo, but they probably can't because of the licensing. And we've got great Neca versions anyway, so I don't even need Usagi, but... I don't think this panda was in the cartoon at all. If he was, I don't remember him being in there. But I remember him having a toy. I remember his knee pads always falling off. But I had him for damn sure. I'm saying his name right? Panda Khan. Panda Kane? Panda Khan?
Panda Khan.
Yeah,
Panda Khan. Panda Khan.
Yeah, like Tony Khan. Yeah, Panda Khan.
Yes, pretty much.
He doesn't run AEW though. So I think Super 7 would do a great job turning this Panda Samurai into an ultimate action figure. One I had as a kid. I would like to see them do it. It's not been re-released by Super 7 by Playmates either on that retro card, which I'd like to see. Tanner, would you like to see this in Super 7 form?
You know what? I would. But it's a case of I can see him fitting in with another pre-order that they've already got out there. Do you remember Gorilla?
Yeah.
The big giant gorilla. So I can see them doing a little team of Panda Khan, Gorilla, any other like animal-based figure as well. You could, if you want to, if we don't get the other punk frogs, you can throw Napoleon in there because I know that's coming as well. Mondo Gecko. It's sort of like a different version of the Mutanimals. Just sort of like they could be good guys, they can be bad guys, however you want to have them in your display. But I think they will go well together as sort of like, I know this term has been dubbed on this channel already, but a little zoo crew going on.
I told you I'm copywriting Who Crew before I get stole off me, alright? So Panda Khan is one of them. Another one I've got is Hotspot. Now, Hotspot is famous amongst turtle collectors for being highly elusive and very expensive on the aftermarket. Him and Scratch were part of like the last wave or the last assortment of turtle figures as they were sort of dying off, unfortunately. So they never really got distributed properly. So there are genuinely less of these in existence than other toys. And they just go for crazy money, especially a carded one. Like you can get a carded one of this for like £1,000 easy, probably higher. So they go for crazy money. And Scratch was similar. Scratch was in a similar sort of category. And Super 7 released Scratch. And I now have a Scratch in my collection because of Super 7. So doesn't it make sense for Super 7 to continue that theme of revisiting some of these more harder to obtain characters? And they do a Hotspot, which is basically a Dalmatian who's a firefighter. Because, of course, all firefighters need a Dalmatian as their mascot. So I reckon this is a great one for Super 7 to do.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so rare and, it's so elusive in it. Anybody who's trying to track down the original figures, you're going to be paying a lot of money for this in good condition.
Hundreds of pounds. Yeah. Without accessories. With accessories, it had a couple of... You can 3D print these days. I'm just not very good at 3D printing. I need a 3D printer. That would be a good start. But my point is, just a loose one is hundreds of pounds. Accessories on £1,000+ for an on-card Hotspot. Do you have one, Tanner?
I don't. Unfortunately,
If I did, I probably would have sold it for that price.
I don't think I've ever seen this figure at all, aside from on like Facebook groups, and this was like 20 years after the figures have been released, going, "Oh, I've got this or I've got that," and I'm like, "Oh, that's
Agreed.
interesting."
I didn't know about
Yes.
this until my adulthood and realised it was super rare, like Scratch. But yeah, never seen it in real life, never held it, never looked at it in person. It is a myth, but it would no longer be a myth if Super 7 were to revisit it in their Ultimates fashion. Moving on. Another one that would make a great Super 7 figure, I think, is Pizza Face. Now, again, not one I had as a kid, but a very crazy, wacky design. It's basically a pizza chef that it's got like a pizza cutter as a foot. I think Super 7 would do a great job for this. Do you reckon, would you buy an Ultimates Pizza Face?
Oh, of course, Pizza Face. You can't have this is one I have heard of, Pizza Face. One I didn't have because it was like one of the late ones, and I didn't really pick it up. But Pizza Face, interesting design. Definitely for the pizzas as well. They can like you can have it like sort of like they're trying to steal his pizzas. And he's defending himself. Yeah,
I think Ultimate's form, Super 7 could do something cool, like interchangeable parts for his leg, so it could be a pizza cutter and something else or whatever. Obviously, a load of different pizzas would be fun.
Or one of that cheese, the little things you put on the pizza to stop the box from touching
I used to always think it was a plug. It was something like that.
Yeah,
it could have an articulated jaw. I reckon Super 7 would do a great job with him, as long as they didn't forget his apron. Like they did with Mo. Come on now, still ain't forgive you. Let's keep going. Anthrax, again, appeared in the animated show. Great figure from Neca. And I reckon it would be a great Ultimates figure as well. Probably not one I would want as highly as someone like Hotspot, who we don't have in any form these days. But still a character design I think Super 7 would do well.
Yeah, I mean, we have Scumbag. Scumbag and Anthrax go hand in hand as well. Even if it's for the Night of the Rogues episode. Yeah. So, yeah, I think when I naturally associate Scumbag, I think of Anthrax.
The Ultimate Scumbag is going to be my next purchase, I think, because he was one I had as a kid, and the Ultimates figure looked very, very good. Another one I think Super 7 would do great is Half Court. Now, obviously, I'm showing off Slam Dunking Donny. Well, he needs to go one-on-one with somebody, and Half Court would be a great opponent, even though, as you can see, his head is literally through the basketball hoop, so he's got an unfair advantage due to his height, but that is why a giraffe would make a great basketball player. Do you reckon Half Court would be a great Ultimates figure?
Half Court definitely would be an interesting one to have one-on-one with Donny.
Yeah.
It's sort of back and forth, even though he's not quite the Undertaker. But yes, I think it would be nice. Before you go into the next one, if there is a next one, so far we've had because this is one I would like to see. We've had 3 musical versions of the Turtles. So we've had Punk Rock Donny, we've had lead singer Leo, we had Gangster Rap Mikey. What do you reckon? What would you like? Because we're gonna probably get a rap. What would you like a rap to be? A musical version of that?
Well, as long as they all fit in theme, like what type of variant did they do for Raph in the music world? Did they do like a punk Raph?
No idea.
Yeah,
no idea. But I'd love like a drummer Raph.
Yeah, like
you could size of the drums as well. So that would be one of my
music-inspired Raph to create a band in Ultimates form would be good. There is a couple more, just a few ones we'll quickly jump through. Hothead would be another great one because it's a dragon. It's basically a big dragon thing that I think Super 7 would do a great job with. And it would be one of those thick Super 7 boxes. Do you know what I mean? It would be a big dragon with his tail and his head. He'd be great. King Lionheart, again, not one I knew of as a kid, but always quite fond of him, that he existed. He comes with his shield sword, very UK weapon. I can imagine him having a very thick, posh British accent, King Lionheart. And then also another one that would make a great Super 7 is this giant sort of elephant, Dr. Al. Again, just some sort of tribal elephant. I just think Super 7 would do a great job with it. So not one I had as a kid by any means, but I would absolutely love it. Again, we know they're doing Gorilla, like Tanner said. Big, massive gorilla. So, of course, they can do a big, massive elephant as well.
Elephant.
So, yeah, he looks good. So, and I think that is your lot for Super 7. Oh, wait, there was one more. There was one more, actually. Oh. And it leads me nicely into our Toon selections because Merdude was a character that was in the animated show. and is also on my I would like to see in the animated list. Okay, so again, Super7 could do a great Ultimates, but I do think in animated form he'd be really good. So let me go to my next list. So any more before I go to my next list, Hannah, that you can think of?
I mean, the only one I could think of would be. I mean, they started, as I said, the musical version of Wrath. I'd like them to do as they started the sports versions of the Turtles.
Yeah.
You've got Basketball Donny. I know their Playmates are releasing the 4-pack of the sports version.
I've got them.
But
Yeah,
I'd love to get a.
It's ice
Yeah.
skating. It's ice skating. Leo, football in Wrath, slam dunking Donny, and then who was Mikey? Can't remember.
Can't remember.
It might be
But I'd
Sophie.
like to see those in Super 7 form as well.
Yeah.
They've already started it with Slam Dunking Donny. They've got as soon as they get through the musical Turtles, go straight onto the sports Turtles as well. So we can get through those iterations of the Turtles that have been done by Playmates already.
I do like completing those like mini teams within the team, if you know what I mean. Like, so you have a mini team of rockers, mini team of sports. Like, I do like those variants. California Red Devil in the chat says, "How do the Turtles play guitars with few fingers?" Well, hang on, I'm giving you a spoiler for my next list. They play it with skill. With skill, California Red Devil. That's how good they are. They don't need 4 fingers. They can hit those chords with 3. Don't ask me how, but they're Turtles. They figure it out.
Well, they're big fingers. They're like big fat fingers that hold 2 strings at once.
Cloud is letting us know that Walmart Collecticon is the 14th and 15th of March, and I think there's previews on the 7th. Cloud said as well. So again, it's starting, Tanner. It's starting. They started off the year slow, but it's starting. Everything's going to come at once.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go to my next list. I've already given you a tease from, right? So, of course, we're going to come back around talking about Super 7 potentially, because I do want to end today's stream talking about the potential of vehicles. Now the Turtle Van is out from all these companies, what's the next vehicle they could do? Okay, so we will come back and talk about vehicles, but let's just keep talking about character selection right now. Let's move to Neca, and again, selfishly, I just want to stay in my wheelhouse for a second in the Toon world, as that's my favourite sort of corner of the Neca Turtle world. So let's get into some Toon characters I would like to see from Neca. Let me just get my list up here. Okay, cool. Here we go. First one I've already spoiled for you, but it is, of course, it's April's auntie, Agatha Marbles. She is basically like the female auntie Sherlock Holmes, based off Agatha Christie type vibes, just solves mysteries and whatnot. She is in the episode about, she's in a couple of episodes actually, but she's in the episode where they steal, these crooks steal Master Splinter's what's his outfit called?
The kimono. The kimono.
Yes, the kimono. And then the gangsters kidnap April and Vern, and they just tickle them to death, like some sort of weird tickle torture fetish. Of course, Vern gives up all the information, and then there's also a fake advert where Donatello pretends to be like this kimono selling guy, and they sing a theme tune. It's a funny episode. Anyway,
he's got the old Texan hat and the eyeglasses and the moustache on. It
was one of those episodes that was on one of the VHSs. Don't ask me which VHS, but it was on my rotation as a kid of those 10 episodes you'd watch over and over again. She was on there, so I would like her in figure form. And Neca have teased her by actually including her portrait in with it might have been with April actually, but there is a picture of her already on
I think it's just on April's box. I don't think it's an accessory that has been done yet.
Right.
I think I could be right. I could be not quite sure, but I thought it was a picture on the box. I didn't think it was anything official, or they've teased something that hasn't, just like concept. I don't think it's anything that has actually been released yet.
Interesting. Do you know what? Tanner? You should never doubt Dan who. Should never doubt Dan Who and his
Never
turtle.
doubt. Yeah,
Never
well, you're right.
doubt Dan Who and his turtle
Ah.
knowledge. Look at that little picture frame with Agatha Marbles. I was bang on the money. I knew I weren't making that up. She comes with April because it is April's auntie, of course. So they have teased. So that's the digital concept. Like that means they've digitally sculpted her. All they need to do is send her off to the Chinese factory and get her made. Now, is she a very obscure character that only I would care about? Yes, probably true. However, I would like to add her to my collection selfishly, and it's my list, so that's who I would like. One that I think would be a little bit more popular, Tanner. First of all, would you buy her?
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that we're both literally completionists at this bloody point in time, so it's world building, as you always say.
Yes.
An extra character that hasn't been done. It's got a connection to the turtle. She's been in more than one episode. It'd be quite fun if she came with you can have her in like investigation pose with a magnifying glass,
She
just
can,
looking for clues.
She can pull out loads of accessories. Should be fun. She would be a fun figure, and that bright pink would absolutely stand out on the display too. Another human character for your sort of gallery of good guys. Right, but a bad guy. Let's move on to a bad guy, which I think is the missing piece to something Tanner has mentioned earlier in the stream. The night of the rogues, or the rogues.
The Night of the Rogues.
Yeah?
Yes, we've literally got the entire team apart from this one member. This one
Take
member,
it away, Tanner, then,
Tempestra. Tempestra originally started as a video game character in which she went up against Leo.
Yeah.
Female version with like electric powers. Really, really cool. We need to complete this team. If 2024 is the year of team completions, well, Neca need to get on the team completion bandwagon and give us Tempestra as well.
She was a sorceress, like Tanner said, in a video game that got zapped by like lightning, and then she came to life and just tormented Leonardo. I think she kidnapped some of the turtles or whatnot. But like Tanner said, her big deal is that she was in the Night of the Rogues, and we currently have everybody on this list in this lineup. It's like the Sinister Six for Spider-Man. This is like, I know there's 7 there, but you know what I mean. Same type of vibe, where a group of villains team up to take on the good guys, and Shredder gets all of these from the Turtles past, and we have Rat King, we have Slash, Leatherhead, Scumbug, Anthrax, Chrome Dome. We are missing Tempestra. So Neca know that as well. There's no way Trevor Zammit does not know we need Tempestra. So she has to come out in some form, surely.
100%. I think she's out of all the characters probably on this list, she's probably the most wanted because it completes the Night of the Rogues. And yeah, all right, she's only been in 2 episodes, but it's a case of she's an iconic character everybody remembers in a team, and would go well to complete this team.
I love completing teams, Tanner. As a collector, it satisfies me. I need to complete this team, okay? Neca, I know you're not watching, but complete the team, all right? I'm just putting it into the universe. Right, I just skimmed past a character that you may or may not recognise. Do you know who she is?
Yeah, she's, what's his name? Burns' girlfriend.
Yeah.
Burns' girlfriend. So, well, is it his girlfriend? Is it his bit on the side? I can't remember. It's a case of, she was his girlfriend, and she didn't like turtles at all. So whenever he went on a anti-turtle tirade, it was usually due to her.
So her name.
I don't remember her name though.
Her name is Tiffany, right? And she appeared in a couple of episodes, and she's basically Burns' girlfriend, the fat boss of Channel 6.
The boss.
I don't think this is his wife by any means. I do think this is his little bit on the side.
His little bit on the side.
She got when she was a kid, her brother put turtles in her bed or something like that. So she hates turtles. She hates them. So whenever turtles are involved, she hates it. And she's just a stupid, easy human character that can accompany Vern and Bert on the shelf, whatever, for your channel.
One reference I'm going to make and say, is it Tiffy time? Is it Tiffy time?
Yeah, Vern.
Only a few people will get that, but yeah.
Bern's girlfriend or mistress, whatever you want to call her, just a fun figure that, again, random. I know, but she did appear in more than one episode, which is more than some characters. So yeah, she would be a fun figure for Neca to do. Now I'm not too sure what order these are in. Okay, so there's Merman. So I mentioned Merman earlier. He was done in the Playmates line, but he did make an episode as well, because sometimes the characters debuted in figure form, and then the cartoon would literally pluck characters from the Playmates roster and put them into the show. Sometimes the character designs were never the same. Again, it bugged me as a kid, but Merman is definitely a character that would jump in from the show. Who else have I got here? Oh look, there's a picture of Tiffany and Byrne, by the way. So there you go. It was those two that were in love. So yeah, there you go. So he was basically celebrating his 50th birthday, and like she was like, "Oh, how old are you?" And he went, "Oh no, I'm 30 something." But the audience knew it was his 50th birthday, so he was clearly lying to the woman. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Right, what else we got? So again, these characters I'm picking are just random as fuck. So there was the last two seasons of the Turtles got a bit weird, right? And I'm not going to lie to you. By the time the last two seasons of the Turtles came out, so I'm talking season 9 and 10, this is like 96. Yeah, 96, 97, I think.
Turtle fever had died by that point.
Yeah. The Turtles were dying. The showrunner had left. Some of the voice cast had left, but the show was still being made. Now, me as a kid, I'd moved on from Turtles to like Power Rangers and X-Men, and Spider-Man. That was genuinely, as a kid, Turtles was my first love. I played with Action Man, Turtles, and then I moved on to Marvel with X-Men, Spider-Man, Power Rangers, and bits and bobs, right? So I'd already moved on. So I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert of those last two seasons of the Turtles. But in those episodes, they wanted to mix it up a little bit. So they introduced new characters, like new main cast members, and one of them was a bad guy. He was basically the big bad. They replaced Shredder and Kang. They basically sent them off to Dimension X. They got banished to Dimension X, and this new protagonist, this new alien protagonist, came to Earth, and he was constantly tormenting the Turtles. So I'm just curious in the chat, if I show this picture, does anybody know who he is? Okay, just curious, just testing your turtle knowledge. He was the big bad of the last two seasons of the Turtles. So multiple episodes. Shout out Xander for subscribing as well. Thank you very much, Xander. Maybe you're watching, maybe you're not. If you are, let me know in the chat.
I did a rewatch of this a few years ago, and I got to the, as these are dubbed, the Red Sky seasons, because the sky was turned to red to give it a dark sort of feel to it. And I do remember this bad guy as well being quite prominent on it. Now I don't know if you pick these ones. The Turtles also get like a next mutation as well. They did. Yes, is that spoiling?
It's just I didn't pick them, but you're absolutely right. That storyline is a thread that goes out throughout the seasons where they have an extra mutation. But I didn't pick them. I've just picked two characters that were added into the roster, and I'm starting off with the big bad.
So I can see quite a few people are getting this right. Okay. Starting off with Damien Ristori, who has dropped it down. Rich Wilkinson. So it's Lord Dreg. Jay has got it, but he's saying he cheated, so take it away. Lord Dreg, the enemy from the last couple of seasons. I believe he was trying to take over the Earth to add it to his empire.
He's basically the Shredder of the last two seasons. Like, it's as simple as that. Shredder and Krang was gone, and he is the big bad. So he is the Shredder of the last two seasons. Lord Dreg, he, instead of foot soldiers, he had like these cyborg type men, and he had a couple of henchmen as well. Very weird, but basically he helped planet Earth by giving them resources. So he was given his own tower. He had like Dreg Tower in the city. So all the humans thought he was a good guy. And then everyone hated the Turtles because the Turtles knew he was a bad guy and they were trying to take him down. Yeah. It was like a very convoluted thread in those last two seasons. They tried to, like Tanner said, make it a little bit darker. So he's a bad guy. And all those other characters I've mentioned, they could make in figure form. But I do think, out of them all, I think Lord Dreg is definitely worthy of a Toon figure for our NECA collection. But I'm just going to throw one more character out there.
Go on. What I will say, though, with your picture, it did have the name right at the top of the screen.
Oh, did it? Oh,
Yeah, so your little quiz was sort of
damn.
like for nothing, basically.
Oh, said Jamie. Yeah, Jamie says there we go. Okay, ignore me then. Okay, well, you're gonna know who this guy is then as well because his picture name's gonna be at the top of the screen. Do you recognise? Do you at least okay? Pretend you didn't see the name that says Carter at the top. Don't cheat. No cheating, right? But do you guys recognise this character? So, if you don't know, I'll just give you a little brief history, right? So, again, in those two last seasons, season 9 and 10, they wanted to mix it up. So they changed the bad guys, they changed the colour palettes of the show, some of the voice actors changed, and instead of April O'Neil now
No,
doesn't...
April was still in
No,
it.
she was. No,
Instead of Casey.
yeah, of course.
I'd
Let me
say,
go,
yeah.
let me go. But, like, April O'Neil didn't work for Channel 6 anymore. April O'Neil worked, she was an independent reporter, no longer wearing the yellow jumpsuit. She was wearing like this green jacket or whatnot. So this guy was actually in more episodes than April O'Neil. That's why I said he sort of replaced April, because he teamed up with the Turtles, even with Master Splinter willing to train him because he was a ninja. That does get mutated, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, this guy was a brand new made-up character that they made up for the show to try and mix it up. So April O'Neil got pushed to the back, and she was more of a side character. And this guy was definitely in that April O'Neil spot for those last two seasons. April was there, but she was more of a background character compared to Carter. 100%. That is for sure. You watched it. You must remember that.
Yeah. I remember Carter. I also remember his power as well in what he turned into. As you said, he mutated. It was kind of like a Hulk, in which he only mutated when he was angry.
In stress.
Yeah, I mean, he mutated into this, which kind of reminds me of the comic book character Savage Dragon for some strange reason. It's the color scheme, it's the hair as well, but it's not Savage Dragon. But yeah, he did mutate.
So a 2-pack that I think Neca would do good at is a Carter 2-pack, where you give us both the human and mutated versions. Now, the mutated version could be a deluxe, I guess, but Carter, the human figure, wouldn't be too complicated. So, like, there's Carter and the Turtle. So Carter would go on missions with the Turtle. So unlike April, who couldn't really fight or anything, Carter was a ninja, so he would actually get into fights and stuff. And then when the Turtles mutated, and they went dumb. So when the Turtles I'm right in this, Tanner, right? I'm this because
they had no control over their actions.
So the Turtles would basically mutate into like this new turtle form, but they'd be dumb. So then Carter would have to transform into his mutated version to save the Turtles. Trust me, the last two seasons you don't need to watch. They messed it all up. But this is canon. This stuff happened in the Toon show. So Tanner basically joined the Turtles, trained by Splinter and everything. Like he's more of a fifth turtle than Zack is a fifth turtle, because he actually went on these missions. And yeah, like Tanner said, he basically hulks out and turns into this guy. Which, yeah, so I just think they are canon to the show, whether you like it or not, because Carter wasn't really liked by people. They didn't like him.
No.
So I don't know if the community would like it, but I do think Neca has potential here to do like a Carter 2-pack. But I think Trevor Zammit he's an OG. I don't think he's gonna lean.
I don't see him hitting this until a few years, once they've literally dried that well of the early seasons of cartoons. To be honest with you, I think the squid in one of the early episodes probably has a better chance than this. But yeah, I think it's definitely a case of it would be a good 2-pack. It would be hearkening to the cartoon. Extra characters, it would be quite cool, even though I don't think the Red Sky episodes were as popular as the original ones. Yeah,
it declined in popularity and then got cancelled because no one was watching them. But people were watching X-Men. Damien with the super chat, thank you very much. I'll let Friday read that.
Damien Ristori donated £5. Mob bosses from the posters is what Trevor has hinted at Tanner in an interview with Speaky Geeky recently.
You're very true, very true. Thank you very much for the super chat, Damien. He said the mob bosses from the posters is what Trevor has hinted at Tanner in the interview with Speaky Geeky recently. So yeah, those posters have characters on. That's what makes me think we might get Agatha.
The Wolf Guys, yeah.
Well, what's her name?
And Agatha,
Agatha Marbles, because she was on a picture frame, we're probably going to get the figure, I hope. But yeah, the mob bosses, like the mob boss I was talking about that was tickling people, you could get him with a feather. Like, Kevin in the chat says, I can't remember any of that stuff because you probably chose to forget about it.
You didn't watch it.
So I apologise for bringing it to your attention. Cute Court says, shows what focus groups can do to properties. So sometimes I like to bring this stuff up for the sake of conversation. Is this essential part? Are these essential characters that I need in my collection for my collection to feel complete? Absolutely not. No way. Like, I prefer the Shredder era, if that was what we want to refer it to. Seasons 1 to 8, I'm happy with representations and plastic from them. Seasons 9 and 10, I can just pretend, let's not talk about them. So, are you on the same page as me, Tanner? Wait, if they came out, of course,
if they come out, I'll probably pick them up. They'd be interesting concepts, different characters to buy, but I don't think they're essential. Both the last 2 seasons were only 10 episodes long, if that. So by that point, considering season 4, season 3, season 4, like 20, 30, 40 episodes long, to going right the way down to 10, again, because the popularity had died by that point in time, and I think, everybody had moved on to Power Rangers, X-Men, Spider-Man, the Batman animated series. That's where the popularity had gone.
Everything got a little bit darker, didn't it? So they tried to mix it up.
Everything went very edgelord, yes.
So hang on, I'm just trying to find a picture here. So over to you. Have you got any more?
I have a couple. I have a couple as well. So there is a character that has appeared in a couple of episodes, in which he came to Earth on holiday, and he had this magic camera. Whenever he took a picture of anything, he was a tourist. Whenever he took a picture of the camera to create the memory, the thing he took a picture of was sucked into the camera, and it would reverse it as well. Now it's a case of, does anybody remember this guy's name?
Can anyone in the chat get his name for 10 bonus
Before we
points?
pull up the picture, does anybody remember this guy's name? He's like an alien character. He's like in a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, I can show him the picture without revealing the name. All right, so this ain't even not even cheating. All right, do you guys?
Yes.
Does anyone know his name? 10 bonus points are available here to the chat. Does anyone know this guy's name? Tanner is absolutely right. He was an alien. He'd take pictures with his Polaroid camera, and they would get sucked into the camera. I
believe they had his family in the second episode he was in as well. Yeah, so... but this guy was the first guy. I do remember this episode purely because of the way he spoke. He was very high pitched, and it's a case of it's an interesting concept in which he took a picture on his camera, he sucked into his camera, and then I haven't seen anybody come up with any names. Again, I didn't remember this guy's name to begin with.
Damien's telling me his species, which is Damien's correct. They are Polaroids, I think they're called. So Damien's correct with their species. Yeah, so, but what's his name? He's got a name. The name isn't Bob. I can confirm. Jay's, I appreciate Jay's playing along, though, at home, and he's at least trying to give us a name. He says Bob. It's not Bob, though. It is not Bob. And Jay, he was in seasons 1 to 8, so you should know who this guy is. He wasn't in those.
He was pretty early as well.
Yeah, you should know who this guy is if you've seen the episodes. Justin says Tourist Guy. It wasn't Tourist Guy. Jamie has also tried saying Bug Camera Dude.
Bug Camera Dude.
It explains who he is, but it's not his name. Not his name.
Yeah.
The Terrible Tourist, says Justin. They tried, bless them. They tried.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get it, to be totally honest with you. So I think we should just give him the name, which...
Cloud Foxwell says Philbert McCarthy.
No, not quite. Not quite. It is a one word thing beginning with F. It was it Frigg or
Frick? Frick. For the record, to be completely honest with everybody, me and Tanner had to Google that before the show as well.
Yeah, pretty much. I remembered the description I gave to everyone, and his look.
Yeah, we knew me and Tanner found the character. As soon as he mentioned him, I was like, oh yeah, I can find him. I knew who he was referring to, but I didn't know his name. But yeah, it's Fripp. Bob's your uncle. So a lot of Bobs in the chat there.
He does look like a Bob.
He does. To be fair, he does look like he could be called a Bob. So yeah, there's Fripp. Here's a picture with him and his Polaroid. There you go. That's his little camera. Yeah, there you go. And who else you got, Tanner? Who else you thinking in?
So we got another one. This was a bunny rabbit type character. So not Usagi or Jimbo, but after Usagi, and they brought in this bunny rabbit type character who's a lot more wacky. I think his name was like Horace or something like that. But he was on the VHS box. And he was quite a wacky character, and he was in more episodes than Usagi, but he came along a little bit later than Usagi. So I'm wondering, have you managed to pull up the hair? Yeah, Horace hair or something, or Little White Rabbit.
He is the one with the big
quite
floppy ears.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm trying to find pictures of him now. Let me see if I can throw it up on screen. Is this the guy you're referring to?
Yes, it's him. Yes, it's this guy here. He was like the Easter Bunny, I believe. He was brought in as the Easter Bunny, and his name was like Horace, and he was very...
I'm going to write it in the chat. It's Hokum hair.
Oh, Hokum hair, yes.
Hokum hair, okay.
Yes, so he came in. He was in a lot more episodes than Usagi or Jimbo. I think there may have been licensing rights to Usagi at the time, in which they could only use him a couple of episodes. But
I'm glad they didn't make Usagi or Jimbo the bloody Easter Bunny. I'm glad they chose not to do that.
Yeah, so they brought this guy in. He was in a lot more episodes. There was a lot more comic relief than Usagi was. And he is on the portal box as well. I've just seen Mike
because he's in that episode. He's in that episode for sure, because he comes out. He's in the Easter episode as well. Look, here he is dressed as the Easter Bunny. I'm going to find more pictures here.
And there is one more I would like to see, and this is from the first season of the Turtles.
Go on.
So do you remember the alien that came to Earth who looked like E.T. with the eye of Sauron? He sends the Turtles on the quest to collect the gem. They had to dive into a river because he came in a ship with like a hand held by a globe, and he was like a little old frail alien, and he literally died straight away. He's like, I'll collect the Eye of Sauron. Here's the way to track him. It's an object of immediate power.
Little E.T. looking alien, did you say?
Little E.T. looking blue alien guy, yeah.
I'm looking.
Very frail looking, but died right as soon as he came in.
This is a terribly small photo, but is it this guy? I'll try and find a better photo.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
Not that guy.
In season 1, again, he was like blue. I can't.
Him?
Again. No, that's the other one's father. So the other picture of Pupp's father. So you're getting the same episode, but not the guy I'm thinking of. Okay, what I'll do is I will find a picture of this guy, and I'll put him on Instagram in my story later.
Okay, yeah,
because I don't remember this guy. Try and check what was the fucking jewel from the first season called? The Eye of Nazareth? No, not Nazareth. What was it? I'll find a picture. I'll put it up on Instagram later.
Okay, because I'm looking at loads of alien pictures here. Not a clue.
Yeah. Not a clue.
Yeah, so not the guy on screen. Not the guy we had on screen, Neca.
No, not the guy on screen. I will put up a picture in my stories later, so keep an eye out for that when I track him down. I'll see if I can remember his name. It seems Jay knows who I'm talking about as well, and has no idea who I'm talking.
We're great Turtle fans. We all knew.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
So again, we were just talking about what we would like to see Neca to create in the Toon line, and this is their Toon checklist. So this is everything they have released so far. So again, no surprises on this year's list in regards to reveals. Sometimes they give us a little reveal, but I don't think there was any reveals this year. Everything we knew was coming. The new stuff's here with Space Usagi, who's out right now. I think Tanner's got him. Usagi, Samurai Usagi as well. Originally, I thought they were referring to the Usagi in that year of the Rabbit 4-pack, but it's not. This is going to be a separate single-packed release. So I was panicking. I needed to buy that Rabbit 4-pack to get this Toon Samurai, but no, I don't need to. Here's a separate release, just like Space Usagi. So Samurai Usagi will be a separate release like Space Usagi, and then we already know that Space Adventure Donatello and Samurai Adventure Michelangelo are in a 2-pack. They're in a 2-pack together, and all their heads are interchangeable. So if you buy 4 of those 2-packs, you can create all 4 turtles in samurai suits or space suits. So those are essentially army builder sets to a certain extent, if you wanted to, or you could just have them unique characters on their own. Again, sort of blurring the lines of what Playmates did, because Playmates obviously did Leo Samurai and Space Cadet Raph, so they've mixed it up again. But you could have a Space Cadet Raph and a Samurai Leo if you just swap the heads, because they're all going to be interchangeable with the Turtles in Disguise heads, from what they've said.
And also the Ultimate Turtles are supposedly coming. Well, that are coming out in the series.
The Ultimate Turtles are
it's the same body.
The same turtles. Crevis said they're the same that came with the Disguise Turtles. But it makes sense. So yeah, and the turtles are called the Turtle Club as well. So these are new down here with the business suit Casey Jones, who they have announced who he comes with. Who does he come with again? Is it a foot soldier or something?
Yeah,
it's a new foot soldier, isn't it? Like
I think it's a new foot soldier.
Or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's a slash down the middle where he's hanging in half like this.
There he is. Yeah.
That's the one. Yes, split.
Yeah. So the Casey Jones in the suit comes with that split foot soldier, which I'm never mad at, getting an extra foot soldier. And then the 4 turtles here are referred to as the Pizza Club Edition, and they are basically the turtles that came in the Turtles in Disguise sets. The best Neca turtles, in my opinion. The colour palette is perfect to the show, great articulation, all their heads interchange and stuff like that with their expressions, and each one of them comes with their own unique little pet. That is an Easter egg from the show. Each one of those little pets are in the show. I think Michelangelo's pet is actually a toy. It's a toy of Godzilla from a movie in the show. So it's even more meta than you originally think. But apart from that, there's nothing new on the villains list, is there? Not that I remember.
No, I think it had all been revealed at SDCC.
Big Kang, obviously, is going to fit in.
Evil Rex 1.
Yeah, he's going to be out any time now. Where he is down there. He's an army builder as well, but I don't even know if I'm going to get any of them. Maybe I'll get one.
Maybe one to go up against Rex 1. Maybe one.
But yeah, there you go. So, again, me and Tanner just named a load of characters that they haven't done yet. So even though they've done all of these, which is over 100, by the way, remember, April's re-release was the 100th figure. So they have done over 100 figures now at this point. And there are still plenty more they can do, okay? So long live the Toon Turtle line with NECA. Genuinely my favourite line with NECA stuff. So just while we're still on the same wheelhouse of NECA, before I want to end with vehicles, because vehicles is an exciting topic, but staying just with NECA for a second, regards to movie, regards to Mirage, regards to whatever else you want, what would you like to see done? Same with the chat, by the way. If you give us some suggestions, I'll read them out. In regards to the other things within NECA, movie, Mirage, Archie comics,
whatever,
Archie. So, what would you like to see?
That hasn't been announced. I would love an Archie version of Cuddly the Cowlick, which is a big giant cow head, interdimensional cow head.
So just a head.
It's just basically a head of a cow, and the turtles and other people use it as interstellar transport. So they would originally, the cow brought them to the wrestling league, and then the cow brought them to other places. But it's a big giant live cow head, and I think it's such a crazy design. It would be quite cool just to have a floating
spaceship.
Could be, but it's a live character, so it could be a vehicle. It can be an actual character itself. I know they've announced the wrestling turtles, and I would like them to do more of the other wrestlers from that federation. So you had Ace Duck, you had a Leatherhead version of the wrestlers. So you just have that giant cow league, the giant wrestling league of turtle pro wrestlers. And if you had if they did like a wrestling ring as well, you could have them in like a 8-on-8, 8-man tag, or like other style of matches. So the wrestling figures look so cool, and it does harken into one of my other big interests, which is pro wrestling. More pro wrestling Turtles, more pro wrestling leagues of that pro wrestling league would be great. Another figure, again from the Archie line, I'd like to see Armagon, which is a big giant shark. We've seen the video game version
I know
of
that
him.
character, yeah. We've got him.
We've seen the video game. Yeah, we've seen the video game version of him. I'd like to see the Archie version of him. So I've said more than enough Archie figures. Let me try and think of Okay, so we're gonna go with the Last Ronin. I'd love to see the next generation of Last Ronin Turtles. So Uno, basically all their names mean one in different languages, and with their new series dropping soon, I think in the next couple of weeks if it hasn't done so. Those designs are really, really cool. I would like to see versions of that next generation of Turtles, and also Casey Marie Jones in a Casey, because I've seen concept art or preview art in which she's dressed up like Casey Jones with the hockey mask and the hockey sticks next to those Turtles. She had a hand in training them, so definitely the next generation. Also staying on the Last Ronin, I want to see the bad guy of the original Last Ronin, which is what was his name? Oroku Hamato, I think his name was. Hiroto Saki. In his armor as well. I know they've kind of teased that armor in black and white, but that armor looks great. Oroku Hiroto. And that's pretty much it from the Last Ronin line.
So I'm just looking at pictures as you talk to show off. Because the Last Ronin pictures, like the last time we seen the Last Ronin stuff was on display at San Diego, and it was an epic big display. So you can tell they're committed to doing more figures. So I do think you have a chance of getting some of these characters you're talking about, because everything they've 100%. Showed here is basically went up for pre-order, basically, or somewhere, hasn't it?
Has Donny gone up? I know Leo.
Did he not go
Mikey
up?
Hasn't gone up.
Oh, okay.
Mikey hasn't gone up. Okay. The others have gone up.
Some of them are due in the UK this week. Some of I think a couple, the Foot Soldier and Raph and Shredder's daughter are all due.
Karai.
Karai. They're all due this week. If you've pre-ordered them in the UK, there's still meant to be a Fugitoid accessory pack we haven't really heard much more about, but that's happening. So you can Mirage
pile that out with like matcha and Mouses, different style of Mouses, next generation.
What about Mirage?
Mouses,
what do you want to see from Mirage?
Mirage, Agent Bishop, which is like in IDW Season 2, a Karai from City at War. If they go down the Souls Winter, because after the Return to New York storyline and before the City at War, they brought in guest artists and did their own self-contained stories.
Okay.
So I'd like to see like the Souls Winter Turtles, which are more big, more beefy turtles. You couldn't really tell them apart. I think that'd be quite cool, an interesting design, a difference than the norm. Karai from the City at War storyline, and also Agent Bishop, which is from Season 2, I think are my main ones with regards to that.
Mike in the chat is reminding us that Kirby is coming soon.
Kirby. So I'm trying to say figures that aren't announced that I would like to see, but yeah, Kirby is definitely up there.
Let me just throw a picture of Kirby on so people can see what we're talking about. Jack Kirby, or is it Jack Kirby, or just a guy called Kirby? I think they're referring to him as just a guy called Kirby.
He's just a guy called Kirby. I don't think he's Jack Kirby. He's just Kirby.
Yeah, but he could be Jack Kirby in your collection if you wanted him to. But he's just, I think they're not going to use the word Kirby. No, they can use Kirby. They just can't say Jack Kirby, isn't it? So anyway, he's coming. But yeah, Super. It's Neca. They've got the Mirage, the Archie, the Toon, the movie, Tatsu. Of course, we need from the movie, and then I'll take some of the Samurai. I'll take an April O'Neil from second and third movie. To be fair, I feel sorry for her that she ain't got no love.
Yeah. Hey, Circo. She needs that spot. And if they wanted to, they could go back to video game as well. They started that. They just left it to focus on Mirage. they could throw out a lot more video game designs from the video if they do ever decide to go back to them.
They absolutely could. So Neca, there's plenty. There's absolutely plenty. So the year has in store for us God knows what, because Neca have basically hit all the highlights from all these different spots now. When it comes to the Toon stuff, they've hit all the main ones. When it comes to Mirage, I think they've hit the majority of the main ones. Same with the movie. They've done the main stuff. So what they do now is definitely more obscure. So I am curious in which direction they choose to go. So again, exciting year of reveals ahead, because apart from what we've already seen, which should be sort of up for pre-order soon, like my favourite thing, the thing I'm most anticipating that I know is coming in 2024, if I find the right picture, it is these guys. It is the Punk Turtles. This is what I've wanted in figure form from the get-go. They exist, they're happening, and I'm hoping the pre-order is very, very soon, so I can get myself a set of these. So these, I know
they're releasing these as a 4-pack, right?
Yes, just like the last sort of, because they're doing the Ultimate Turtle separately. This is going to be a 4-pack again, and they all come with alternative sort of punk rocker heads from when they were in the UK. And I know it's just the Turtles in a different costume, but I don't care. I remember them wearing this all the time in the animated show, and I was thinking, even as a kid, you'd know it of a turtle. If someone walked past me, it's a turtle, humanoid turtle walked past me wearing a bomber jacket and glasses, it wouldn't fool me. I'd know it was a turtle. But I look forward to these. So these are up there with my some of my most anticipated for the year for sure. But Neca, I've got us covered. But I do want to end the stream, Tanner, just for the last 10 minutes, sort of just daydream a little bit about vehicles. Okay,
vehicles. Because you wanna walk on the wild side of life.
Yeah, definitely the more expensive side of life, because Neca have now gave us, like, these companies have delivered, is my point now. With the picture I showed earlier from Neca and SUPER7, I'll get it back up, of the vehicles, if I find it. They have both now actually delivered the vans, and both companies have sort of said they didn't want to reveal anything out until the van had delivered and people were happy and stuff like that, right? So we now have our SUPER7 and Neca turtle vans, which are epic in their own rights, in their own different way. The Toon turtle van, super accurate to the show. The SUPER7 van is just a beast. It's a tank. It's like, I don't know where I'm going to put that thing.
Just have it as Teddy's home.
Yeah,
basically
Teddy
open up the top, have him sit in there. He can live in there.
So that makes me think both companies must be thinking, surely they've had these conversations. What is the next vehicle? Okay, what is the next vehicle? Now, in my thumbnail to this video, so whether you're watching live or you're on the replay, you'll notice in the thumbnail that big eye of the Technodrome.
Hang on a second. Am I going to have to turn my screen slightly just to show
you do have the Technodrome.
Something I have.
So Tanner already has a Technodrome. That's the Mega Bloks Technodrome, right?
It is the Mega Bloks Technodrome. So I built it up from scratch. Lovely, as you can see how imposing it is just sitting next to me. I'll turn the eye around a little bit so he can look at the camera, show everyone his glorious visage, and it's just a beast. It's a very fragile beast, but it is a beast, and it was a fun time building. You can open it up, create like a display inside. It opens up from the back, but because I want it to look like it's a Technodrome on the road, just facing it forward. But yes, it's very, very fragile.
At least you have a Technodrome represented in your collection. I do not, unfortunately. So again, let's just think big for a second, all right? So we're just daydreaming here. I'm not saying I want this to happen or I don't want it to happen. We're just having a conversation for the sake of conversation, all right? SUPER7 have recently, or last year, put up for pre-order their Thundercats.
Thundercat Mountain.
Yes, their Thundercats lair, right? Which was a beast of a thing. So that's making me think, surely, if they wanted to, they could do a turtle, like a Technodrome that opens up. Surely, right?
It'd be very expensive because that Thundercat lair was what? How much? £800? Do I want to say? At least.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Let's just not talk about price for a minute, all right? Let's
yeah, but yes, if they've done the Thundercat lair, there's no way they can't not do a Technodrome. It'll just be huge. It'll be similar size. It can open up. You can have a little diorama in there as well.
Yeah. And
I agree with you.
That's what the cat's lair did. Just think the cat's lair opened up the back, and it actually made it look like they had mountains on the side, so you could display it like a full 360 display. So the Technodrome, they could open up and it could be a whole diorama inside, just like the Playmates toy did. So the Playmates toy closes up just like that, so you see the Technodrome, but then it could open up and reveal all these different parts. You got a little jail, you got a little command center, like I'm not saying I want Super 7 to do it. I'm not saying I don't want them to do it. I would just be very intrigued to see how they did it. Do you know, like, okay, Super 7, what have you got? How would you approach this? Because I think they would do a good job. Like, I genuinely do. After having that van in hand, I do have faith that if they chose to do this, they'd do it well. Now, it would cost $3,000 and I'd have no room for it, but it would still be fun to see. It would still be cool to see, and you'd still see all the influencers and toy tubers go to PowerCon and San Diego Comic-Con and film it, and we'd get to live vicariously through them of what could be, because this would have to be a crowdfunder from Super 7, I am sure, just like the Cat's Lair was. So I'm just putting it out there into the universe. I wouldn't be against. I don't know where I'd display it. That's a problem for future Rich Dan if it ever happens.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it. So I just wanted to start off. I set the bar really high, Tanner. Set the bar super high.
You did. You did set that bar.
Set the bar high.
Super high.
Yeah, with the Technodrome. So let's lower the bar a little bit now. Let me close some tabs. Let's lower the bar a little bit, and let's play it a little bit more safe. So let's be a little bit more realistic here. In regards to vehicles similar to the van, what could they do? I'm going to start off, just throw something easy at you, right? Repaint of the van, and it just be the Channel 6 news van. Not exciting, but it's just a straight up repaint of the van.
Do it as a Channel 6 van.
Repaint of the van with a few extra pieces. Channel 6 news van. And like they could do this. Super 7 or Neca could do this, by the way. Both of them could just reuse tools from their current vans and just tweak it, because the van, April O'Neil's van in the cartoon, didn't really look like this, but it was similar. It was like a lighter blue. It had the big 6 logo on it. Both companies could do a Channel 6 van, right, Tanner?
Yeah, 100% they can do that. And on building on that as well, because I don't think you'll have this one down from the TMNT, the Turtles movie. If you have the VW van, they have in that video when they go back to New York, you can use that same design to build that VW van in the movie style as well. So that would be a good one to throw in too, especially because you had Casey and Donny working on it, trying to get it back up and running when they were out in Northampton.
Right, I'm just looking at the chat. I think Mike's saying that Trevor Zammit agreed that the April, that Paige actually needed a figure, and I agree. She was in more movies than Judith Hogue, right? So not that I dislike Judith Hogue. I'm very happy we've got her, but she's getting variants at this point. Do you know what I mean? Let's get April O'Neil, the second April O'Neil, some love as well. She had more screen time technically. Right, so let's go through some of these vehicles. Right, throw out some vehicles to us in the chat. I can already see people throwing this one at us, which I also would like. I've seen people do some great customs of this, by the way. It is the Foot Cruiser, which could be used in multiple forms. It was in the very first debut sort of mini 5-episode movie, wasn't it, with the neutrinos? They drove these, so they could repaint this all day long. But then in toy form, we got the Foot Cruiser for the bad guys. But yeah, it's basically just a hovering Cadillac, right? Like a
I mean, if they did do it as part of the cartoon, you can open up the boot and have the crystal power source in there as well. Yeah, so that would be a cool way to do it. Whether or not you do the blue version, the red version, whatever color version you want to do, it would definitely be a cool version vehicle to have, especially if you give us like a good stand, so it looks good hovering.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
They're flying cars; they need to hover.
Talking about flying, am I asking too much for a Super 7 or a Neca blimp? Both, again, Super 7 recreate what the original toy line did, and Neca recreate what was in the animated show. Both of them had blimps.
I think with this, whereas I'd love it, I think that balloon would be prime for damage if you had it on display too much.
QC, they wouldn't even. Neca is shit with QC issues anyway. Neca have a shit customer service, and they would unplug their phone lines if they released one of these.
If Neca did it, I reckon they would just do the glider section underneath. Because the balloon section, the balloon is very hard to work with. It'll deflate. How can you protect it from any?
I'm going to fill mine up with helium, right? I'm going to fill mine up with helium, and when I take Ted for a walk, I'll just attach that to a piece of string, and I'll also take my blimp for a walk. So I'll walk around my park with Ted and a blimp. That's what I do. That's how it works, right? That's how. Yeah,
100%. You can tie Ted up to the balloon. So
Ted could drive the blimp. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
There's one vehicle that I'm purposely saving till last because it is one that I would like and also think it is very, very likely. A few of you guys are already talking about it in the chat. It is, of course, the modular sort of drill, the bad guy drill. I used to think, right, even as a kid watching that animated show, how annoyed the council of that city would be that there are these potholes everywhere, because every time the villains turn up, it's via a giant hole. I'm surprised the city hasn't collapsed in on itself with all of these channels of drills, holes throughout underneath the city. But the modular drill is a vehicle that I never had as a kid, but my cousin did, and it pained me. I had the turtle van, but I had to take my van to his house so I could have the drill at battle, because the drill bit actually spun as well as the Playmates. So I've got a few pictures of while Tanner talks, and I'll show them off. But
can you imagine if they put like a little motor in the drill bit, whoever decides to create it, just so you hear the drill going? I think this is, I won't say a lock for the next one, but my choice for the next vehicle after the turtle van, purely because of the fact that it's the villain's version. It was in the cartoon. Playmates have done it as well, so it can prompt both SUPER7 and Neca to actually do it. You can have it open up, have the villains sit inside, a way to display them. If the little front goes, spins around, having a little motor in would be an ideal. It'll be sick. It'll be ideal. I highly doubt they would do it, but can you imagine if you had it and you just turned on the motor, it spins, it makes like a drilling sound as well. That would be so cool. But again, this would be my choice for the next vehicle anyone does decide to do. I know as much as we'd love a Technodrome, as much as we'd love a Turtle Blimp, I think for me, this is the next.
Look, there's a reason I saved it for last. I agree with you. For all the same reasons you said, I reckon it is much more doable, much more realistic, and also real estate wise, price wise, a lot more manageable as well. Like, don't get me wrong, Technodrome, I'd love to just see how they would approach something like that. But let's be honest, do I have the room and the money for that? Probably not.
No.
Would I try and buy it anyway? Probably, because I'm an idiot. But this is much more approachable, and like you said, it's the bad guy alternative to the turtle van. The bad guys didn't have a turtle van to drive around in. They had this sort of modular drill bit thing. I've never really knew its name. They don't ever refer to it. Shredder does call it something. I swear he does. But
it's the modular. What was it called? The modular.
It's just Mutant modular on the box anyway. That's what it says on the
modular
box.
Display. Modular vehicle. What's it called?
It just says Mutant modular on the box. That's what it says.
Okay, it's the modular.
It's got a name. No, it has got a name in the show. You're right. Someone in the chat can help us out. But I agree. I'm with Tanner. So if we were in those boardrooms deciding on the next vehicle for these companies to endeavour to create, I would also say, look, go for this one. Let's play it safe. Let's give the bad guys a vehicle to chase that turtle van. We need something for the turtle van to go after, whatever it is. Let's give them this. Much more doable, same sort of scale as well, I think. And again, it was in the animated show, so Neca could do it. It was a Playmates toy, so SUPER7 could do it. I would love to see their approach to this. Yes, would I like a blimp? Yes, would I like a Technodrome? Yes, of course. But would I want this? I think this is the one. But there's so many vehicles.
I believe Cloud and Damien have put up the name of it. It is just the transport module.
Oh, there you go.
So that does ring a bell. That does ring a bell to me as well. So props to both of you for that reminder.
Look at all these vehicles, right? There's so many. I'm not going to go through them all, obviously, but the pizza thrower is a popular one. I definitely had this as a kid. Like the new turtle, the new Mutant Mayhem turtle van actually slings pizzas itself.
It does.
The new Mutant Mayhem one. Which
I'd like to see a knucklehead as well. You have a foot.
Oh yeah, that's up here somewhere.
Riding a knucklehead.
Yeah, there you go.
So
yeah.
I remember having one of these as a kid, and they are in the video game that was released last year.
Loads of these vehicles are in the show. Like this is in the show, and this is a doable as well. The turtle bikes with the trash can side compartment, that is absolutely 100% in the show. Definitely had that as a kid. I'd love to buy one of them. Again, it should be cheaper than a turtle van as well. Like there's no reason that they can't do the smaller price point items either.
Now I know we've seen the what's it called, the sewer surfers as well. They're like skateboards that go along the sewer. That's been in the cartoon. I know we've got third-party versions of those, but I'd like to see a Neca or a SUPER7 version of that, purely because they're so easy to do.
These were in the show. These were in the show
as
well. The tube things. I'm trying to find that surfing thing that I know exactly.
Skateboarding, sewer surfer.
I had this as a kid, by the way. I had this as a kid. The buggy with the surfboard on the back. Don't know how or why, but I absolutely had it as a kid. I had the bathtub as well. Where's the bathtub? Do you remember the bathtub? It's literally a bathtub.
No, I don't remember the bathtub. I remember the one where it was sort of like a trap. You'd tie the turtle in, and it's like a anti-mutagen ooze that would come down onto it. I remember that. I had that one as a kid. Is
that the bathtub?
I can't remember what that was called.
This is it. I definitely played in the bath with this bathtub. That was a thing I did as a kid. Would I do it as a grown man? You damn right I would. Give me an excuse to have a bath. I'm trying to find the thing Tanner's on about. Is it up here somewhere? Is it this?
It's...
No, that's a slinger.
No, that's not quite it. That's not quite it. That's the catapult. This was sort of like a trap. They would... Yeah, that's the one.
Flushmatic?
That's the one, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
In which you tie the turtle up, and it would be like a anti-mutagen ooze that would come down and reverse the mutation.
So many fun vehicles here for sure. Like, there's no they don't have to go. Look, there's the skateboard you're referring to as well. Like, they could do that. They could do that. There's no reason they have to go bigger or better or the same scale as the turtle van. Give us some of these. I'd love a few of these little things. They were in the show. That's the magic about some of the vehicles. The vehicles that the cartoon took from the Playmates line. Literally would take things from the... That was the whole point of the show, was to sell toys, believe it or not. That's how the 80s and 90s worked. So, yeah, these were actually in the cartoon. They're fair game for both Neca and SUPER7.
The thing is with this one, they've actually given Mondo Kiko a skateboard. You don't have to build much on the bloody... And the video game turtles are hoverboard.
Yeah.
You don't have to build much on that to make the cheap skate. You don't have to do much on that. It should be an easy, add a couple of pieces, ship it out there. I don't think it'll be that expensive as well.
Yeah. Look, good stuff. Let me go to the chat actually and end this poll to end the show. So the poll basically just said, what company are you most looking forward to seeing in 2024 in the world of Turtles? It was Neca, SUPER7, Playmates and other. Of course, no surprise, 74% have went with Neca, 12% SUPER7, 2% Playmates and 12% other. Because we only talked about some of the main licenses today, but there are lots of other companies making new stuff. I know Mike Hex would go mad at me if I didn't mention this, as he did send me the picture earlier. So this is Loyal Subjects. Hang on, let me get it up so people can see. Loyal Subjects making brand new characters that we have never had in figure form before. This is is it Apex? Is it that?
It's Alopex, which is Raphael's girlfriend, and also the Rat King, who was the bad guy from the recent big story, the Armageddon game, as part of a mystical entity. So not quite your traditional Rat King. Interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, he looks like Slenderman. He looks like Slenderman, doesn't he? Just all lanky and creepy. Yeah.
Again, with the Loyal Subjects, I think I've got my fill with the Turtles and Shredder. When these come out, I'll decide if I want them or not, but I don't think they're essential for me, especially as it's a case of, yeah, it's as I've had some bad experiences with those loyal subjects, so I'm not totally sold on that. As good as they look, and as good as I know Mike's been trying to win me back on side with them.
Mike literally gifted me Donatello to try and lure me into them. So I have Donny, which does make me want to sort of think, well, now I need the other brothers. He has tried to tempt me with the others.
Of course you do. But yeah, I have. I need to be won back over. I'll see when these come out. See if I'm tempted. Let them shoot out that fishing line. See if they can get a bite from me. But as of the moment, I'm not too desperate for that. I'm perfectly happy with the turtles, with Shredder as well up in my display. So that's all I really need.
Well, again, I'm very curious for what the year has in store for Turtles. As me and Tanner have just showed you, there is still plenty of things these companies can do, and they have already gave us so much. We're genuinely lucky to have what we have. Like, if someone had told me what of a Toon collection I would currently have, like as a kid, my mind would have been blown. So I do feel very happy with my Toon collection. It does fill me with joy. And Jay in the chat says, just still want his Technodrome. Dream come true. Jay, what is your absolute limit for Technodrome budget? Or should I not ask that question with Kiara around?
Because I think with Kiara watching, Jay should just go for this. This will sort out any
Matchbox. Just a Matchbox Technodrome. Kurt says, great stream, gents. I learned a lot about Turtles today. Basically, all you need to know is Donny's purple, Rafi's red, Leonardo's blue, and Mikey's orange. You remember that, and you're good to go.
Unless you're looking at the original cartoon run, the original comic book run, in which they're all red.
That's true. That is very confusing for new people because, yeah, he probably thinks I've got a box of 4 Raphaels behind me. I did put in my thumbnail a picture of the fifth turtle just to mess with people. But I will ask Tanner this question before we get out of here. Tanner, if Neca released in its movie style a Venus turtle from the next mutation that was on Nickelodeon, which was technically meant to be a continuation from those movies, would you buy her?
I'll be on the fence with that.
I just made a noise I've never heard him make before.
I'm not a fan of the character. I probably would buy it, and it would probably go alongside those, the rock musical mutant turtles under that as sort of like the weird iteration of the turtles. Venus is definitely part of the story, even though
she's canon.
Is she canon though? She existed, yeah, but I don't think that show was officially canon. And
that show, when it came out, was originally meant to be a continuation from the movies. 100%.
It was. But after that, I think because of the bad reaction
they retconned it.
They sort of like, no, there's no female turtles. And I think the 2007 movie is actually the spiritual successor of the original things, just because of the last scene right at the end, the trophy cabinet. So, as much I'm on the fence.
Rich has already jumped in. He's saved it for Venus. Here's a Venus, my desire, Rich's desire. Rich says, I
probably would buy it.
Of course you would. So would I. Yeah. Of course I would. Only in live action style, like live action. Yeah. So I could like fudge her just at the back, just right at the back of my movie.
Hidden away.
Yeah. Behind someone else, but she's there. She existed.
Hidden away.
She existed.
Now, as a risk of making Rich a mortal enemy, I was going to go. Have you seen the movie? What was the Disney movie where we don't talk about Bruno? No. I would have turned it into. We don't talk about Venus. No.
There you go, Rich on the screen right there. He's admitted it. So is Jay, to be fair. Yeah. Jay said 100% I'd get a Venus. Cloud says she'd get one too. Cloud says Rich is with me. Right, and Rich did confirm you're now on his list. And look,
I'm now on his to kill list.
You don't want to be on his list. Right, Tanner, since you're on his list, you best get out of here. Tell these good people where they can find you online.
So, SuperTurk5000, Instagram, Twitter, and various other places. Also on this channel here, Turtles and Tea, and I'm a regular on the Legends and Liquor as well.
He is indeed. I'm just trying to get his Instagram up while we're chatting so you can see for yourself. There it is, people. No excuse. Go and give the man a follow. He has promised to post a picture of that alien he was talking about on his story.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what the hell he was talking about, I do. I'm like, what aliens he talking about? Go and check it. Go and give him a follow and check out his story. And he's also been showing off some of those turtles that we'd never even really got a chance to mention.
Yeah.
Like this.
No.
But the Heat Boys mechs are looking fire, and Tanner already has 2 of them, and I have no doubts. Look, there they are. I have no doubts he's in for the other 2 that should be released at some point this year. So yeah, go and check out Tanner.
I think Raph is coming this year. Donny's not even up for pre-order yet,
Okay.
So yeah, I don't
Best
think
to
that'll be
last.
this year.
I understand.
The best to last, yes.
I understand. But yeah, go and follow Super Turk 5000. No excuse. Links in the description. It's been on the screen the whole time. Right there. Go and follow. Hopefully you already do. And yeah, Turtles and Tea. We'll be back when there's some turtle news to talk about. Again, next week there is a pre-order. The Donny's Lab is going up for sale. I will not contribute to the corporate greed of Neca, though. Down with Neca. I will stand strong this time and not.
You will stand strong, and if it mysteriously turns up on both of our doorstep, we didn't buy it. They sent it to us. It's a sample direct from Neca.
No, they don't send me samples, unfortunately. No. But yes, find us on Turtles and Tea. We will continue Turtles and Tea throughout the year. We just don't really have a schedule as such, but we will be back. Just follow the playlist. Check out the Instagram. I'll always post the day we go live. But we're going to try and be a little bit more lively with the turtle news this year. But we're waiting for those first pre-orders. We need the figures that we know are coming to go up for pre-order first so we can have that next wave. So, yeah, shouldn't be too long. I do think March may be pre-order heavy with Neca. We shall see. And I might even go and buy some full-price SUPER7. That's how much I'm liking some of them at the minute. So I'm clearly losing my marbles. But anyway, we'll get out of here. Go and follow Tanner. And we will see you on the next one, all right? Bye-bye.
Catch you guys later.
Go and check out one of the other videos on the channel. There is the full Turtles and Tea playlist I will put on the screen right now. So if you're still here, go and click it and then save one of those videos to watch for later. Go and check out Tanner's top 10 of 2023 from all the turtle lines. You can do that on the last video. And if not, we will catch you on the next one. But we'll be here drinking some tea and talking some turtles.